I wasn't planning on making a third video this week, but recent events have changed that. This isn't a topic I expected to cover so soon, but this has been sitting on my chest, and I think if I don't let it out now, it's going to stay there heavy and growing. So here it is. This is a video about self-destruction, about suicide, about that quiet numbness that feels like it'll never go away, about the pain we carry in silence, about wanting to disappear, not for attention, not for drama, but because you genuinely don't know how much more of this you're supposed to take. And I don't say that lightly, I say that from experience. I was 6 years old when I first thought about ending my life. 6. I can't tell you exactly what triggered it because I honestly don't remember. It wasn't some big dramatic event, it was just a feeling, a fog, a sadness that felt too big for a child to carry, but somehow still showed up and made itself at home. And it stayed. I didn't have the language for it back then, I didn't even understand what suicide was, but I remember wanting to stop existing, wanting to stop waking up, wanting to be done with whatever this life was. I don't talk about it, of course. You don't at 6. And when you grow up in an environment where emotion equals weakness, where tears are punished with more reasons to cry, you learn fast to keep everything locked inside. So I did, for years. There wasn't one big turning point, it was a series of tiny breaks. Loneliness, pressure, being told I had to be perfect, being expected to carry things I didn't even understand yet. I learned how to mask it, to smile when I needed to nod, to joke, to pretend, and honestly, I became pretty good at it. Some people would even call me funny or charismatic, if they only knew. Because underneath it all, the thoughts never left. They were there at school, they were there at church, they were there when I was alone in my room, staring at the ceiling, wondering how long I could keep doing this. I didn't want to die, not really. I just didn't want to keep living like this. There was one night, and this is hard to admit, where I sat on the floor, gun loaded, barrel resting against my chin. It wasn't a cry for help, it wasn't about attention, it was real. And it wasn't just the pain that got me there, it was the numbness. That's what people don't understand. Suicide isn't always about sadness. Sometimes it's about nothing, just silence, just a blank void where life used to be. That night, I didn't go through with it. I don't really know why. Maybe it was fear, maybe it was God. Maybe it was some last thread of hope buried somewhere I couldn't even see. But I lived, and I'm still here. Barely some days, but still. Cutting became part of my routine for a while. Every night for several months straight, not to die, just to feel something. It's hard to explain to someone who's never been there. It's not about dramatics, it's not about scaring people, it's about control, about releasing something you don't know how else to express. It's about turning invisible pain into something visible, something real. Yes, people found out. Yes, it made things worse. The looks, the pity, the judgment, the whispers, attention-seeking, melodramatic. They're just doing it for show. No, that's not what it was. And maybe if someone had just sat down and listened, really listened, they would have seen that. But most people don't listen. They panic, or they minimize, or they mock. So eventually I stopped letting anyone know anything. A lot of people ask, if you really wanted to die, why didn't you? Here's the answer. Guilt. Not guilt about dying, guilt about what it would do to the people left behind. There's this fear that if I go through with it, I'm going to damage the people I care about in a way they'll never recover from, that I'll become a burden even in death, that I'll finally make them care, and they'll have to live with that weight forever. It's strange. The only thing keeping me alive sometimes is the fear of what my death would do to others. Not hope, not love, just guilt. That's what keeps me breathing. We live in a society that doesn't know how to talk about this. Especially if you're a man, you're expected to tough it out, to man up, to be strong, to never show weakness, to never cry, to be the rock for everyone else while you're crumbling inside. And if you do speak up, you're labeled, you're fragile, you're unstable, you're scary. No one wants to hear the raw stuff. They want bite-sized versions of mental health, inspirational quotes, pretty recovery stories. They don't want to know the truth. They don't want to know how bad it gets. So why am I talking about this now? Because I know there's someone out there. Maybe you, who needs to hear it, who needs to know they're not the only one who thinks about it, who needs to know that numbness doesn't mean you're broken beyond repair, who needs to know that just because your thoughts scare you, it doesn't mean you're evil or hopeless or beyond saving. You're just human. I don't have a miracle answer. I still think about it all the time. I still spiral. I still cut sometimes. I still get closer than I'm comfortable admitting, but I'm learning how to carry it, and I'm here, still. Few things keep me going. God, not as a cliche, but as a presence, something higher, a reminder that this life is not the end of the story. Jeremiah 29:11 has been my anchor more times than I can count. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an unexpected end. The younger me, the one with so much hope in his eyes, I owe it to him to try. I owe it to him to see how this ends. The impact I want to leave behind, this channel, my music, the karting project. These are pieces of me that I want to build, not just for myself, but for others who feel like I've felt. You, whoever's listening right now, maybe you've never told anyone what you're going through. Maybe you're scared. Maybe you feel alone. You're not. Here's what I've learned in all this. Pain doesn't make you weak. Wanting to die doesn't mean you're selfish. Cutting doesn't mean you're attention-seeking. Being alive doesn't mean you're healed. You can be breathing and still be breaking. You can smile and still be screaming. You can laugh and still be longing to disappear. But there's still something worth holding on to, even if it's just for one more day. If you're out there and these words sound familiar, if they echo your own thoughts, let me say this. You're not dramatic. You're not crazy. You're not alone. You are not a burden. You are carrying something heavy, yes. But that doesn't mean you're weak. That means you're stronger than most people know. And if you've ever thought about ending it, if you've ever sat in that dark place, if you're there right now, I see you. I believe you. I'm praying for you. Stay, please, just a little longer. Let's see what tomorrow looks like, then maybe the next day, then maybe next week. And maybe one day we'll look back and realize we survived the thing that tried to destroy us together.